For years into my relationship with Jessica, I thought I had found my forever. We met at a Super Bowl party hosted by my friend Mike, where she was introduced as his coworker's roommate. Instantly we connected. She was brilliant, driven, and stunning. I believed she was my soulmate. After a year of dating, we decided to share a home, bringing my German Shepherd, Diesel, into our little family. Everything felt idyllic, and I was ready to take the next step. I'd spent months planning the perfect proposal, purchasing a 2.5-carat diamond ring that drained 3 months of my earnings. Every detail was set. A romantic dinner at Callowis, the steakhouse where we celebrated our first anniversary, complete with a string quartet. It was meant to be a moment we'd cherish forever. But everything changed when I returned home early from a golf outing with Mike. As I stepped inside, I overheard Jessica on the balcony, her laughter light and familiar, but her words cut like a blade. She was on the phone saying, "He's been so secretive lately, hiding his phone, acting strange. It's obvious he's proposing this weekend." I stood motionless in the hallway, torn between confronting her and staying silent. Then her voice lowered, and she said, "Of course I'll say yes. His family's loaded. Have you seen his sister's ring? I'll take it and be out in a few months." My stomach churned as she continued. "Brad's been waiting for me to leave him. He's got a job lined up for me in Chicago, and let's just say I'm ready for that, and for him." Brad, her boss, the one she swore was married and not her type, had been texting her late at night for months. My world collapsed. I slipped out quietly, shutting the door a bit too loudly. Jessica called out, "Babe, you're back early." She greeted me with a warm smile, as if nothing was wrong. I muttered an excuse about Mike's back pain, gave her a quick kiss on the cheek, and headed to the shower, letting the water drown out my racing thoughts. I wasn't crying, just numb, seeing our life together in a new, painful light. The next day, we went to brunch with her parents, a Sunday ritual. Jessica played her role flawlessly, chatting about wedding venues and smiling at me with convincing affection. Her parents had been nudging me about proposing for months, and she leaned into it, acting like the devoted partner. I wondered if I'd misunderstood her phone call, but deep down I knew the truth. I went through the motions, holding her hand, helping with dishes, but my mind was elsewhere, plotting my next steps. On Monday, I called in sick, a rare move for me. As soon as Jessica left for work, likely to see Brad, I got to work. I canceled the dinner reservation, losing the deposit. I removed Jessica from my bank accounts, contacted my landlord to terminate the lease, and found a new, pet-friendly apartment across town, slightly pricier but worth it for Diesel. I visited the jeweler, explained my situation, and traded the ring for store credit, keeping the empty box. Inside it, I placed a note that would say everything I couldn't. I organized movers, arranged for Mike to watch Diesel for a week, and prepared to unravel our shared life. That evening, I cooked Jessica's favorite, steak with mushroom sauce and roasted potatoes, setting the table with our finest dishes and lighting candles. When she walked in, her eyes lit up. "What's this about?" she asked, a hopeful glint in her gaze. I played it off casually, saying I wanted to make the night special. During dinner, she kept stealing glances, clearly expecting a proposal. After dessert, I slid the ring box across the table and knelt. Her face glowed with anticipation as she opened it, but her joy turned to bewilderment when she found the note. It laid out everything. Her phone call, her plans with Brad, and my decision to walk away. Her hands shook as she read it, the weight of her actions sinking in. I stood, my voice steady but cold. "I heard you on Saturday. I know about Brad. This is me leaving." She stammered, "Mark, let me explain," but I was already grabbing my bag by the door. "I'll be back Saturday with movers. Diesel's coming with me. The lease is paid for another month, so you've got time." As I walked out, she pleaded, but I didn't look back. "I loved you, Jessica. Goodbye." 2 days later, I was staying at Mike's, throwing myself into work to avoid her. Jessica had called 47 times, left 29 voicemails, and sent over 60 texts, everything from anger to apologies to desperate pleas. I hadn't responded but kept her number unblocked to document everything in case she tried to spin the narrative. That night, she showed up at Mike's. Shannon, his girlfriend, answered the door and said I wasn't there. I hid in the guest room, feeling like a coward. A friend later called Mike, saying Jessica was outside, crying in her car. Part of me pitied her, but a larger part felt nothing. She had planned to use me for the ring and leave, but I'd turned the tables. It was 3:26 a.m., and her car was still there. Her latest text read, "I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I silenced my phone and made a therapy appointment for the next day. I was moving into my new place soon, starting a management training program Jessica had dismissed as pointless. For the first time in years, my choices were mine alone, and it felt liberating. 2 weeks later, the support from others who heard my story was overwhelming. I used the store credit to buy a watch I'd always wanted, a small act of self-care. I didn't take Jessica back. Her words on that call were unforgivable. I blocked her number after saving her messages as proof. Diesel was thriving at Mike's, where Shannon took him running daily, and I'd bring him to my new pet-friendly apartment soon. I learned Brad was indeed married and contacted his wife through social media. A decision I wasn't proud of but felt was right. Jessica lost her job shortly after. Likely no coincidence. Her parents called my work phone, having heard her skewed version of events. When I explained the truth, her mother wept, and her father fell silent. They'd always treated me kindly, and that conversation stung deeply. A month on, I'm settled in my new place with Diesel. I aced the first phase of the management program and started rock climbing. Something Jessica had deemed too dangerous. Risk feels different now. It's not the cliff I thought I was avoiding, but the one I was pushed toward by staying in a lie. Jessica moved in with her sister and occasionally emails, her tone more introspective but still too late. I'm rebuilding, reconnecting with old friends, and finding peace in therapy. Someone said the best revenge is living well, and I'm starting to agree. My old life is gone, but the one I'm building feels right.